We good to go?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I thought before we get started with anything, I want to thank you for representing a really underrepresented group of people, and that is people in this country who love to just slather Vegemite all over their toast. Have I done the research properly and learnt that you are a Vegemite girl?
I love Vegemite.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And like, my fans know that I'm so defensive over Vegemite.
Yeah.
Like, if Dom didn't like Vegemite, we would have a problem.
Well, he does love it.
He does.
Like
We've tried it a couple times and he's eaten it every time. And I don't know if he's doing it to please me, but he seems like he enjoys it. Like, he does the light spread though.
I'm a light spreader.
Yeah.
So I find the light spread works best for me, but I don't understand why they get the American guys
To just eat it off a spoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like, you guys are setting it up
Yeah.
to fail. I saw one this morning because I got tagged in it, and it was Kathy Kelly and Kevin Owens trying it on a spoon. And bless Kathy's heart, she's trying to like it for Mami.
Yeah, she's trying.
She's trying so hard, but yeah, you can't eat it like that.
Kathy
Like
and Samantha are both in the game.
Yeah.
2K24 this year.
saw.
That's so exciting.
I saw that Kathy can be a manager.
Yes.
You got the scoop. I didn't even know that.
Really? I saw it
Yeah.
on Twitter, on X. Sorry.
Yeah. Formerly known as.
Yeah. We have the little love triangle, so like I get tagged in all of that stuff where it's like we can put Kathy with Rhea.
Now she can come out and represent. Maybe a new member of the Judgement Day. You know?
Possibly.
Is there anything you look forward to when you come back? Is there anything you can't get in the States that you love to come home to?
A lot of things. A lot of things. I love getting Hungry Jack's, KFC. When I'm in Adelaide, I go to Villies. Villies is my number one spot. I absolutely love it.
What is it?
Villies?
We're both Melbourne boys, so.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, no.
They're like a bakery that's sort of like expanded. Like, they're the ones with all the pies and pasties, all the different flavors. They have all the bakery like delight sort of things, and it's just like everything they make is so top notch. They're like a little restaurant. It's like a diner at the moment now, pretty much, because they're open 24/7. So all like the truckers going late, all the wrestlers going late, because like that's the only time we get to eat after a show. That was the one place where we always went after Riot City Wrestling shows, and like their chips and gravy, man.
Are you sure you don't have a stake in this place?
I might
You
have
to
to.
declare your interest.
Yeah, I might have to. Maybe one day Rhea Ripley will own a bit of Villies.
One of the questions I had, congratulations, the banner's behind you, by the way. First all-female WWE 2K cover, incredible. There was an amazing clip of you when you got told you went in, you thought it was a Christmas shoot,
Yep.
It was all work, and it turned out to be this amazing moment. One of the things that I thought immediately when I saw that clip, other than like, yeah, Rhea, how good, who did you tell first, other than Dirty Dom, naturally? Who'd you get on the phone, call, text, like, who gets that first reach out?
The first reach out was Buddy.
Yeah?
Yeah, Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
So Matt for me. He was the first one that I messaged because I was just so excited. I wanted to share the news with him, and I knew that he'd be really excited for me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was definitely the first one I messaged.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
It makes all the sense.
Dom was second.
Dom was second.
Dom was second.
So within the game, we have My Rise, which traditionally takes you from the indies and your journey all the way up to becoming a megastar.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sounds pretty familiar. Was there ever a moment that you get to really relish in just how far you've come from Riot City, as you mentioned before, to 50,000 people in Perth?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been thinking about it a lot recently because we have come back to Australia and we're doing Elimination Chamber here. It's the road to WrestleMania, and I'm so glad that we get to stop in Australia first. But I always think about that journey. I always think about all the struggles that I had to overcome and getting doubted along the way, and just like pretty much just being like, screw it. Like, you guys can say what you want, but I'm going to continue to do what I love, and I'm going to continue to try and learn as much as possible and make it as far as possible. So I 100% always think about my journey. And it's funny because all the interviews that I do, I always get asked about my journey, and I always have to say like the same sort of thing. And it's just wild because it is a recap of my life, and it makes me remember extra little bits and pieces that did happen along the way. But it was tough. It was a struggle, but it was so much fun, and I can't believe how far I've gone. And it's really cool to have something like that in the game too. So like people can sort of go through the steps and somehow recreate our lives so they can see it in the game form as well.
It's interesting that you say that there's been tough times, because from the outside looking in, like, we see the phenomenon that is Rhea Ripley. Were there times, obviously, along the way where you were like, this might not happen? Like, you've come from Australia, it's a difficult path that largely wasn't forged for a lot of people. Were those times popped up where you're like, it's not going to happen?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. When I first started training, my tryout for Riot City Wrestling, my coach flat out told everyone, if you want to make it at WWE, I'm just going to say now, like, you probably won't, because they don't really come to Australia. They don't really look at Australian talent too often. So the little gap was very, very, very small. But even like along the way, while I was wrestling in Australia, there was many times where I was like, I'm not going to make it, but I'm going to try and do whatever I can to make Australian wrestling great. Like, I went to Japan for 3 months, and I was 17 at the time, and even there, being so far away from home, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like, there was a few times that I wanted to quit while in Japan, and I just wanted to go home, and I didn't want to wrestle anymore. And then even when I got back, it was just like the same roller coaster of emotions. It's like, it's something that you love so much, but you let it break you at times, and that's really tough. But when you overcome that moment, that's when you know you really do love it and you have a passion for it, and it's what you're meant to be doing. But even when I first got to America, there was quite a few times where I was like, I should just pack it all up and go home. And I'm glad I didn't.
Lucky you didn't.
I'm so glad I didn't. I'm glad that I am so incredibly stubborn. And I just didn't let myself pack it up and go home, because we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be seeing the Rhea Ripley we see today. Even though the tough times were there, I'm glad they were there to teach me the lessons, but I'm glad I didn't give up.
And if you quit in Japan, you certainly wouldn't be on the front cover of 2K24.
Oh, yeah. This is very true.
Being on the cover, like, it's got to be so cool, because you grew up as a massive wrestling head. Mm-hmm. Just like, I'm sure, like a lot of people in this room. Who were some of your favourite legends when you were growing up? And do you think them at their peak, and you at your peak right now, which is scary because you're really just getting started?
Yeah.
Who would you like to face at their absolute peak?
No wrong answers.
No wrong answers,
No.
yeah. So my 3 favourites growing up were Triple H, which is wild because he's my boss. The other one was The Miz. I absolutely loved The Miz. And the third one was CM Punk. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, it's hard because they've all had such amazing careers and they've had such amazing milestones. For me, I feel like I still have so much to go. Like, I feel like right now I'm at a very good moment. My momentum's growing and we're just getting bigger and bigger. But I feel like I still haven't reached what they were able to reach. So it's wild to think that I could possibly accomplish things that they accomplished. And if I were to step in the ring with them, you remember seeing Triple H back in the day?
Like prime Triple H was out of his mind.
Seriously.
Punk's still a possibility.
Punk, I would like to face Punk, especially with like the way that he did his promos and the way that he just did everything. It was always entertaining. And I feel like if I were to step into a storyline with any of the 3, I would learn so much, and it would definitely help skyrocket Rhea Ripley to the next level, sort of thing.
Which is even scarier.
Yeah.
One of the people I thought you might say, despite the fact that it's a little bit of a stereotypical answer, and I have heard you mention it before, is China.
Yeah.
And the reason that I thought you might say that is because in the deluxe edition of WWE 2K24 this year, one of the Rhea Ripley alt outfits
the China gear.
It was the Payback 2023 outfit. Was that a direct kind of like nod to China? It's very similar.
It was.
gear.
Yeah, it was. Dom and I got together and we looked at gear, and I was like, I really want to do this China gear. So I don't know what Eddie gear you want to try and make, but we should do China and Eddie gear.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So we got together and we just found like ones that would suit our style a little bit more, and that was one that I really wanted to try and recreate. It was a little bit different because I didn't want to straight up copy it.
No.
But yeah, that's where I got the inspo from.
Yeah, it's crazy how because also in the game this year, as a part of, that's why you're on the cover of the deluxe edition, we've got like the OG Rhea blonde hair.
I saw that
attire as well. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy to see how hard 180 your gear has gone.
Yeah.
Is that just you coming, like your personality coming out more in your aesthetic?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Rhea Ripley that we all saw in the first Mae Young Classic, I was 20.
Yeah.
I was so young, and I just wanted to please everyone. I was so scared of doing anything different, or anything that I thought was different. But the Rhea Ripley you see today is what I was on the inside. I didn't let it out because I felt like I had to fit a specific mold to be in the WWE. It was a time where females weren't big and bulky. They didn't have tattoos. They all had the long hair. And I'm glad for someone like, I don't actually give her enough credit, but Ruby Riot, she was the first one that I really looked at and was like, wow, she's covered in tattoos. She's got short hair. She looks super cool. And I remember tagging with her quite a few times on the coconut shows, which were like the non-televised events. And she helped me just bring out that side of me that was me. And like a lot of other people did it too, but I also had to sit down with myself at a specific time and just be like, yo, wake up. Like, stop being fake. I hate fake people. And I was one. And I was like, just don't care what anyone thinks about you. If they don't like you, like, they don't deserve to be in your life. So I just kind of decided to be myself. I cut my hair short. At the time, we had to get tattoos approved. I mean, we still sort of do. I just get away with it. But so I wore pants as a way to get leg sleeves. That was my little loophole. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's wild to see like the first version of me in the game with the very generic gear, generic hair, generic makeup. It's wild to see, and it actually does look like me at the time too. It was quite scary. I saw it on X this morning as well. I was doing a little bit of research around. It was the only time I got to check my phone this whole week. But yeah, it looks wild. And it's sort of cool that version of me gets to live on forever in 2K as well, because it's a nice reminder of where I started and how far I've come. And people get to play as that mode as well. And I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to lose every single match.
Yeah, well, actually, one thing that does make sense that I need to ask you about while we have the time. One of my favourite modes in 2K24 is my GM mode.
Oh, yeah?
So you book the shows and all that kind of stuff. You are always my first draft pick. That's legit. I said to Murphs yesterday, I'm gonna tell Rhea that. It's legit. It's not a line. It's not a line. No. First, not only just because you're an Aussie girl and your rating is so high in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but you've also got like a really great promo rating, so you're easy to chuck into promos as well. You mentioned The Miz earlier, and I know that you grew up watching Miz.
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot from watching him and kind of incorporate his essence into your promos? Because I know originally you weren't super confident with them. Was he like a source of, I can do that?
Yeah, I mean, watching him growing up, I obviously wanted to be able to talk like he can. Same with Punk. He's such a smooth talker. And the way that they both spoke, they articulated everything so perfectly, but they were so egotistic while doing it. And like, I'm a massive like Dragon Ball Z girl, so they were a lot like Vegeta, and I love that about them. So I really gravitated towards them and their characters. I've been able to do a couple things with The Miz at work. I've been on Miz TV a couple times, and I feel like just sitting there and listening to him talk in front of the crowd and seeing his passion, you do slowly just like feed off of it and pick up things. But for me, the biggest learning curve with promos was joining the Judgement Day. When I first started, I did promos with obviously Edge and Damian Priest, and it was at a time where the Judgment Day was spookier. And
One word for it.
yeah, it was spookier. And just being able to sit down with Edge and sort of just go over what I wanted to say and him help me and listen to me say it backstage before going out there. That's what really started this like upwards climb for me with promos. And even just going out there with them, I knew that I had people to fall back on if I were to stuff up by accident. And I mean, Edge is going to save anyone from anything. He's also a very good talker, so I felt very safe in the ring with him. And then once we kicked him out, I had Damian, and I know he's not going to let me fail. He's one of my best friends here, and I love him. He's my terror twin, but he's also fairly good at talking, you know, and he's grown so much since NXT with promos too, but going out there and just feeling safe in my environment because I have my friends around me that I can fall back on, or I can help if they need help. It was really like that group mentality. And even when Finn joined and Dom joined, everyone was sort of learning on the go and just feeding off of each other sort of thing. Dom can't promos now because he's not allowed to from the crowd. but even he's grown too. He could cut a promo if given the opportunity, but no one will let him speak. So I have to speak for him, which is also where I got more comfortable talking because I've been having to do 2 promos instead of 1 most of the time.
I think personally your rating is a little bit unders.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
And there's some 2K people in the room.
Don't want to throw him under the bus, but you're currently a 96.
Yeah.
That's blasphemy. You haven't lost.
At
You're
all.
world champion. You're in the most dominant faction. What is that all about?
Literally, what else do you have to do?
I only have 2 words for that. Acknowledge me.
That's it. And you should be up there, 99, put it next to Mami's name.
Mami is always on top. That's the thing.
Well, not at the moment because you're at a 96.
I know. I think
pretty
they're
much a
trying to.
disgrace.
I think they're trying to like pull a comical thing here because 96 is the year that I was born. So like, let's just stick her there. No.
Not enough.
You know what I reckon might get a 99 next to Mummy's name? Maybe just a bit of an avalanche Riptide or 2 to some of the 2K people here in the room.
They won't survive.
That is in the game this year, super finishes.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you charge up 3 finishes and then you can bust out an avalanche Riptide.
Ooh.
It's unbelievable.
That's cool.
We've seen the one that you did on Charlotte recreated in the game.
Yeah.
Curious as to where the Riptide, like everyone's got their own personal story where their finisher came from. What's the origin of the Riptide?
It was just really hard to find a move that I could have as a finish because I feel like all the moves were taken that were cool. It was so hard because I obviously had a different finish in the first Mae Young Classic and it just wasn't good. It really wasn't good. I didn't like it at all. So going into the second Mae Young, I was like, I need to find something that I could hit on everyone, is powerful, and isn't too hard to set up. So like, I tried watching a whole bunch of tape and looking for moves that I could do, but Shane Haste actually helped me with this one. Another Aussie boy. But
Love that.
yeah, I remember he I think he was the one that actually found it, and he showed me. He's like, we should try this. And I remember going in, we had this squishy ring at the Performance Center. It was like legit like a pillow. It was fantastic. Exactly. I would much rather learn on that than the black little mats on the floor that I used to learn on. But I remember going there with Shane and Tegan Knox and just trying it over and over and over again and just trying to perfect it. And it's come a long way because even in NXT UK, I used to do it and sit down with it. And that hurts.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of that on my butt, to be completely honest. Yeah. And then I started doing it and going down to my knees and like, I mean, my knees aren't great anyway, but it's so much better than falling on your ass over and over again.
I think so, yeah.
I'm so glad you brought up Dragon Ball Z because another mode of mine that's amazing in 2K24 is called My Faction. And it's all about like card collecting essentially. When you get the deluxe edition, there's a gold Rhea Ripley card. So apart from having chatted with you, I'm getting that edition because I need that shiny digital cardboard.
That's so cool.
You're a Dragon Ball Z girl.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else? Like, do you collect Dragon Ball Z stuff? Is there something weird that Rhea Ripley collects, or?
Yeah, I mean,
other than wins, titles, glory, everything else there
taking
is
over the
collect.
WWE, you know. I mean, I used to try and get like all different Dragon Ball Z sculptures. I sort of have calmed down a little bit now, but I have a lot at my mum and dad's house in Adelaide. I sort of kept them there. I have a couple that I brought over to America when I first moved there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really collect anything anymore. That was like my massive Dragon Ball Z era where I loved having them all in my bedroom, but I also really don't like dusting.
In the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition that you can get of 2K this year, you've actually got that, is it Vegeta?
The Vegeta gift from WrestleMania 36?
Yeah, that's actually in there as
yeah,
well.
36,
so like,
yeah.
this is a Rhea heavy
wow.
title this year, which we're wrapped about.
That's
but yeah,
cool.
so it obviously shows that was inspired by the Dragon Ball Z love as well.
Yeah, that was my Vegeta outfit. And just like Vegeta, sadly, I lost.
I didn't want to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it up. So
yeah, I mean, I probably should have
That's in
worn.
the past.
I should have worn Goku colors, man.
That would have made all the difference. I suppose the best thing we can say is you're on the cover. Thank you for being here, making
No
time. Your
worries.
weekends, your entire career is a whirlwind.
It's been nuts.
You're the Women's World Champion. You're on the cover. You sell out merch faster than they can make the stuff. What's next for Rhea Ripley?
I have no idea. I'm trying to take over the WWE. I don't like setting goals. Everyone always asks me, what's your goals? I hate setting goals because I feel like when you set a goal, you work so extremely hard to accomplish that one goal. And once you get there, you're like, cool, I did it. And then you don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. You're lost. And you're like, I just worked so hard at this and now it's sort of over. So for me, I keep it open. I just want to see how far I can get in this business, how much history I can make, and what kind of legacy I can leave behind while doing all of this. So obviously, there's like the typical answers where like, you want to main event WrestleMania. Well, Elimination Chamber is going to be my WrestleMania. And I'm so excited for the show today. I really am. But yeah, I just don't like setting goals.
That's fair.
I don't want to have an end
It seems to
game.
be working.
Exactly.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And like, I think the Judgement Day is the same as well. We don't have a set goal. We just want to take over everything and see how far we can go with all of this.
Well, you're clearly on the way. Rhea Ripley, thank you for making time today. It's been a pleasure.
No worries.
We appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
acknowledge you.
There we go. Appreciate it, guys.